Hey guys, welcome back. In this video I'm going to show you how to play a fingerstyle arrangement of We Don't Talk Anymore. So let's get into it. So for this arrangement we are in standard tuning and you need to put a capo on the 4th fret of your guitar. Also all the tabs for this lesson are available on my Patreon page. You can check out the link down below. So there's really only 4 different sections in this song. We have the chorus, the verse, the pre-chorus and then the bridge. And the song actually starts off with the chorus. So let's listen to it once. It sounds like this. So the very first part sounds like this. So you play the 3rd fret of the B string once, and then you play the open high E string twice. And then you do this, where you play the 3rd fret of the B string and pull off to the 1st fret. And then you play the 2nd fret of the G string. So you get this. And after that you have this part. So the way you do that is right after you played this part, you add in these 2 notes. You're adding the thumb on the 1st fret of the low E string and the ring finger on the 3rd fret of the D string. So now you have an F major chord shape. And the part that you have to play sounds like this. So there you play the low E string, then the D string and then the G string in that order. And after that you have this. So there you're playing the low E string and then you're slapping and ringing the D string. And then you're playing the G string. Like that. So all together you have this. And then you play this, where you play the low E string and then the D string one last time. One more time really slow. So all together from the start you have this. And after that you have this. So you play the same thing that you started with. You pull off there and then you change the chord to this. So you're just shifting this chord 2 frets up. It's the same chord, same shape. And you're playing this note on the 4th fret of the G string. Like that. And after that you play this, which is the exact same thing that you played here. You just play it over here now. So all together you have this part from the start. And then we have this part. So right after we played this, we played this now. So there we're playing the 3rd fret of the B string, which is now we're playing that with the index finger. And then we play the open high E string twice. And after that we slap. So I'll repeat again what we're doing. We're playing the 3rd fret of the B string once. And then we're playing the open high E string twice. And then we're slapping. And then you have this part, where you play a pull off from the 3rd fret to the 1st fret with your little finger to the index finger. And then you play the 2nd fret of the G string with your ring finger. Like that. So from the start to this point we have this. And then you have this part. So right after you reach the note on the 2nd fret of the G string, like that, you play this now. So you add in this note on the 2nd fret of the D string and you play the open A string first, and then you plug the D and G strings together, and then you slap. And then you plug the A and B strings together, A and the open B. So you have this. And after that you have this part. So there you add in this note on the first fret of the B string, and you plug the A string and the B string together. And then you play the note on the third fret of the high E string. Like that. And then you ring the chord with the slap. So I'll play the whole thing once really slow. It sounds like this. And then we have this part. So there you start by playing the note on the third fret of the high E string again. And then you play the bass note on the low E string, which is open. And after that you pull off from the first fret to the open high E string. So altogether you have this. And after that you have this part, where you play the note on the third fret of the B string, and then you ring the chord with a slap, and then you play the bass note again. So altogether you have this. One more time really slow. So if you play it from the start till this point, we have this. And after that you just repeat what you played before. So that's the entire chorus. I'll play it once. It sounds like this. And after that we have the verse, which sounds like this. I'll play it from the end of the chorus and go into the verse so that you get to see how it changes. So it sounds like this. So there, right after we played the last bit of the chorus, you have this little fill which takes you into the verse. So there you're playing the first fret of the high E string, and then pulling off to the open string, and then you ring the chord with a slap, where you're just holding on to the third fret of the B string, and then you play the first fret of the B string, that note. So altogether you have this, and then it goes into this chord. So there you change the chord to this, where you're playing the first fret of the low E string with the thumb, the third fret of the D string, second fret of the G string, and the third fret of the B string. So the very first part on this chord sounds like this. So you plug the whole chord first. You plug the low E string, D string, G string, and the B string together. And then you play just the bass note and then the rest of the three strings. Like that. And then you slap and ring the chord. Like that. And right after that you have this, where you play the open high E string, and then you have this part, where you change the chord, you lift this note up, and now you play the first fret of the B string. You plug the low E and B string together, and then you play the G string. Like that. I'll play the whole thing once really slow. So from the start you have this. And then you have to add this little bit. So you're just adding this little fill there. Start by ringing the chord with the slap. Like that. And then you play the G string and then the low E string. One more time really slow. So again, altogether it sounds like this. And then you have this part. So there you change from the F major chord to the G major chord. So then you're playing the 3rd fret of the low E string with your ring finger and the 3rd fret of the B string there. You also have the open high E string on top. So you're playing this. So you start by playing this. You play the B string once, and then you play the low E string once, which is the bass note. And then you play the B string 2 more times. And then you slap and ring the chord. I'll play that one more time really slow. And then you have this, where you play the open high E string and then the 3rd fret of the B string in the end. So far you have this. And after that you just have to add this part, where you play the bass note on the low E string once, and then you ring the chord with a slap. So the whole thing sounds like this. So again from the start, so far we have this. And after that we have this part. So the very first bit there sounds like this. We start by playing the note on the 1st fret of the B string. And then we have this. So there we add in the notes on the 2nd fret of the D string, 2nd fret of the G string, and the 3rd fret of the B string. And we start by playing this, where we're playing the open A string, G string, and the B string together first. And then we just plug the G and B string together. So all together we have this. And after that we have this part, where you slap and ring the chord. And then you play the open high E string. So far we have this. And after that we have this part, where you play the 3rd fret of the B string. Then we play the open A string, the bass note. And then we play the 1st fret of the B string. Like that. And after that we have this part. So there we slap and ring the chord. Then you play the 1st fret, and then we hammer on onto the 3rd fret of the B string. Like that. So we have this. And after that we have this part. So there we switch from the A minor chord to an E minor 7 chord. So this note remains, you have the 3rd fret of the B string there. And you just have to add in the notes on the 2nd fret of the A string and the 2nd fret of the D string. And you also have the open low E string and the open G string. And you have to play this. So you start by plucking the low E string, which is the bass note. And then you pluck these 3 together, the D string, G string, and the B string. And then you slap. And then you play the bass note again. Like that. And if you play it really quickly, you get that. So if I play till this point from the very beginning, we have this. And after that you just repeat. So that's the whole verse. I'll play the whole thing once from the start. It sounds like this. After that we have the pre-chorus, which sounds like this. So right after you play the last chord from the verse, you have this part now. So there you're playing the open G string first, and then you're adding this note and hammering on. You're adding the note on the 2nd fret of the G string, and then you're playing the open B string, and then you change to this chord. So there you have an F major chord where you're plucking all the notes together. So if I play it from that previous chord, and after that the part on the F major chord sounds like this. So right after you pluck the whole chord, you have this. You slap and ring the chord, and then you play the bass note on the low E string. Like that. And after that you have this part where you play the 1st fret of the B string, and then you play the open B string, and then you have this. So there you play the note on the 2nd fret of the G string, and then you slap, and then you have this where you play the note on the 2nd fret of the G string again, and then you pull off to the open G string. Like that. One more time, really slow. So if I play the whole part on the F major chord really slow, it sounds like this. And then you change to this chord. There you change to the G major chord again. You're playing the 3rd fret of the low E string and the 3rd fret of the B string. You start by playing this, where much like before, you start by plucking the whole chord together, and then you slap and ring the chord, and then you play the bass note. Like that. And after that you have this. So there you play the 3rd fret of the B string and then the 1st fret of the B string. Like that. And then you have this. There you play the open B string and then you slap, and then you play the open B string again. And to end you play the note on the 2nd fret of the G string. One more time, really slow. So the whole part on this chord sounds like this. So if I play till here from the very beginning, you have this. And then you have this part. So right after you play the last bit there, you change to this chord, where it's actually an A minor chord. You're just playing a part of it. You have the 2nd fret of the G string and the 1st fret of the B string there. Plug the open A string and the open high E string with that. You're playing the A string, G string, B string and the high E string. Like that. So the part that you have on the A minor chord sounds like this. So you start by plucking the whole chord together. You're plucking the A string, G string, B string and the high E string. And then you slap and ring the chord, and then you play the bass note. Like that. And after that you have this. So the new part sounds like this. You start by pulling off from the 1st fret of the high E string to the open high E string. And then you have this, where you play the note on the 1st fret of the B string, and then you slap, and then you play the note on the second fret of the G string. Like that. So I'll play it really slow. And then we have this part. So there you play the open G string first, and then you switch to an E minor chord, where you play the bass note first, and then you ring the chord with a slap, and then you play the bass note again. So I'll play the whole part again. And if I play it from that A minor chord again, so far from the start we have this. And then we just repeat. And then the song goes into the chorus again. So I'll play the whole pre-chorus once really slow. It sounds like this. After that we have the bridge, which sounds like this. So the very first bit sounds like this. So there we start by playing this, where you play the first fret of the high E string, then we pull off, and then we play the third fret of the B string with the slap, and then we play the first fret of the B string. So we have this, and after that we have this part. So there we have this chord, which is actually an F major chord. We have the first fret of the low E string and the second fret of the G string. We plug them together, and then we do a hammer on and pull off on the third fret of the G string, really quickly like that. And then we pull off from the second fret to the open G string, like that. And at the same time we slap and ring the chord, like that. So far we have this. And then we have this part. So that part is kind of similar to the part that we played before, but now we're playing the first fret with the bass note on the first fret of the low E string, like that. And then we change the chord to this. So there we play the third fret of the low E string with the middle finger and the second fret of the G string with the index finger, and we plug them together like before. And then again we do a hammer on and pull off on the third fret really quickly. And then again we let go and pull off to the open G string and slap at the same time, like that. So far we have this. And after that, while holding the bass note on the third fret of the low E string, we have this part. So we have the same idea again, but this time we play it while holding the bass note on the third fret of the low E string, like that. And then we have this part. So there we are changing to this chord, which is actually a part of an A minor chord. We have the second fret of the G string and the first fret of the B string. So we start by plucking the open A string and the second fret of the G string together first, and then we do the hammer on and pull off on the third fret of the G string like we did before. and then we pull off to the open G string there, and then we play the slap at the same time, and then we end by playing the note on the first fret of the B string, like that. I'll play that once really slow, and then we do that again, and then we do this. So the second time, right after we pull off, like that, we don't play this note, we leave it there, and then we play the open G string once, and then we play this. So there we switch to the E minor chord, we play the bass note, which is the low E string once, and then we ring the chord with a slap, and then we play the bass note again. So I'll play the whole thing from the A minor part again. It sounds like this. I'll play that one more time really slow. And after you play the part on the E minor chord, the whole thing just repeats after that. And so on. So I'll play the bridge part once again. It sounds like this. So let's discuss the song structure. We start with the chorus, then we have the verse, and then we have the pre-chorus. After that we have the chorus, the verse, and the pre-chorus again in that order. After that we have the chorus, then the bridge, then we have the pre-chorus, and then the chorus again, and then the bridge again, after which the song ends. So that's the whole song. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope this helped. All the tabs for this lesson are available on my Patreon page. If you'd like to see more videos like this one, then subscribe to my channel. Also, if you have any questions or requests for song tutorials, let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. I'll see you in the next video.